Right, and it's now time for KTN News Center. Good morning once again, and thank you so much for joining us this Monday, the 10th of July, 2023, as we have a look at some of the stories that are making headlines right here in the country and across our neighboring borders. This hour, of course, we are going to have a look at how the high cost of living, poverty, and the lack of education are key contributors to adolescent pregnancy in the country, according to the Kenya Demographic and Survey KDHS 2022 Key Indicators Report. Is that the cases are on a downward trajectory, but again, what's happening on the slums? My name is Purity Museo Nzuki. Let's begin with our top stories this hour. Right, and the court is set to rule in the Okiya Omtata case versus the Cabinet Secretary National Treasury and Planning over the suspended implementation of the Finance Act 2023. And on the Shakahola massacre, Chief Pathologist Jansen Odor is set to appear before the Senate ad hoc committee investigating the deaths of over 300 people in Shakahola in Kilifi County. Also, Azimio public protest on the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya is set to hold another public protest as Raila Odinga seeks to pile pressure on President William Ruto's government. And on the immigrant boat missing, Spanish rescuers are searching waters off the Canary Islands for a boat carrying at least 200 African migrants who went missing more than a week ago. Right, now the household-based survey shows that teenage pregnancy rates declined to 15% in 2022 from 18% in 2014, and poverty and a lack of education were associated with higher rates of adolescent pregnancy, as about 4 in 10 women aged between 15 to 19 years who have no education have ever been pregnant, compared to only 5% of women who have more than secondary education. Adolescent pregnancies also are more likely to occur among poor communities such as informal settlements, as 21% of women aged 19 or 15 to 19 in the lowest wealth quintile reported to have been pregnant, as compared to 8% in the highest health quintile. This morning, we are joined by two amazing ladies. Jen Anyango is the executive director at the Polycom, and Arvin Chepkoech, a mother. We have a look at how the high cost of living is affecting women and girls in the country, and more so in the informal settlement. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here.
Thank you.
And we've seen, let's say, a good report, but I'm not sure how the report looks like in the informal settlement, that compared to the report that was presented by the Kenya Demographic, is that we've seen a decline in the cases of teenage pregnancies in the country as compared to a report that was conducted in 2014. That's a good thing to start with, right, Jen?
Very good.
Yeah. So, but when you look at poverty and lack of education, which are usually linked to informal settlements, then they are the greatest contributors. So that means this percentage that has dropped does not include girls and women in the informal settlement. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it does not include girls and from the informal settlements. And I know we also have cases that have not been reported.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how does it, maybe you can paint a picture for us how the numbers are as we speak? There are so many factors all the way from the COVID-19 pandemic, and now we are witnessing not a so good economy that is affecting the high cost of living, and people again living in informal settlements being the hardest hit by what is currently happening.
Yeah, thank you so much, Purity, for the opportunity to talk about teenage pregnancy. I know we had so many girls who became pregnant during the COVID, during the school break, because so many girls would not put up with their families at home.
Yeah.
And so they ended up going out and engaging in irresponsible sexual behavior and ended up pregnant.
Yeah.
As an organization, I think we handled more than 20 girls. And even right now, we have so many girls who we are in touch with who actually became pregnant. So, at times when we have these reports, then we ask ourselves then who is really included in the report. We know that so many people lost their jobs, and we have parents who are their children enrolled in schools already. So somehow they are not able to go back home. And with the small houses that we have in the informal settlements, then these children, they can't just stay at home when mommy is there and when daddy is there. The space is so small for them. And we also have reports of men whose wives are in the rural areas who are taking advantage of the young girls.
Yeah.
So it is really happening, and we have so many girls getting pregnant already. The other day we had this young girl who never went for her antenatal clinic completely. So it means that such a girl, her data is nowhere. So yes, we have, there's so much that should be done, and I don't know, when we are saying that there's a decline and we are talking about COVID, the COVID time, then I don't know what the truth that is out there. But what I know is that we have so many girls getting pregnant even at this time. But I know that we also have so many initiatives that have come up, and more girls are empowered. So maybe we can attribute the decline to the girls, the number of initiatives that we have that are used to empower girls to make informed decisions.
Yeah, and something else that we would be asking, when you look at the survey, and most of the time they say it's conducted among the adolescents in the country, and what WHO defines adolescents, these are girls that are aged between 15 and 19, but there are cases in the informal settlements and even other parts of the country where girls with lower age, up to even 8, 10, also get pregnant. Are they included in these reports?
I don't think they're included, and in fact girls who are not within areas where they can be accessed, especially the rural communities, then we don't even know unless we are shared through the media. Then we don't even know if these girls exist or not. I remember the other time, there was a time that we had a 9-year-old girl from somewhere in Kericho, and then we also had a 13-year-old girl who got her triplets somewhere in Bungoma. So I'm not sure if the survey, these girls are covered within the survey, within the report that we are getting right now. But I know so many are still left out.
And we'll talk about preventing pregnancy, because most of the adolescents pregnancies, or girls who get pregnant underage, they don't even get some of these healthcare services. We're talking about attending these antenatal clinics, and so they risk losing their lives as well. But to look at that, in studio we have Alvin Chepkoech.
Yes.
Welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Alvin is 25 years of age, but you became a mother while you were, what age were you?
17 years old.
17 years old. Maybe you can just tell us what exactly happened before we get further to more questions.
Thank you so much once again. I got pregnant when I was 17 years old, and the reason why it was because I come from a very low family, whereby I come from a family of 6 children, me being the firstborn. So life by then, it wasn't easy. It was back in 2015.
You were living in Nairobi?
No, I was living in Nakuru.
Okay.
So I had to run away from my home so that I can come and get a good life in Nairobi. So, and that's how I got in Kibera, and from there I engaged myself to many things, and I got pregnant. Yes.
All right, and if you don't mind, I'll be getting further into, for example, why did you run away from home? What are some of the challenges that, even as a firstborn, because you mentioned you're a firstborn, that led you to running away? And I know you wanted to come to Nairobi and get probably a better future for your siblings. So just give us details. What prompted you to running away? Were your parents aware where you were? And what happened when you got to Kibera?
So the reason me, first of all, the reason me running away from home, it was because being the firstborn, my mom was like, okay, she was working in a market, and every time she be like, me, okay, I was like a parent to my siblings, because my mom was working all the time. So and I wanted to explore. There is like, we being in Ushago, you will hear stories like.
So you were tired?
Yes, you will hear a story like you going to Nairobi, you'll have a good life, you will explore, and many stories like that. So me running away from home, it was one, I was tired of me being the firstborn, me being like the mother to my siblings.
Were you going to school?
Yeah, I was going to school, but waking up very early, doing all the housing stuff. In the evening, I'll be the one, like I was very tired.
Yeah.
In the evening, I'll be the one cooking. I'll even sleep very late at night. Yes. So the first thing, I was tired. The second thing, like I wasn't a priority in my family. So even my mom paying my school fees, it was very hard.
That's what you felt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. So from there, I ran away. I came to Kibera. That's where my story began. I engaged with some friends. I went to stay with some of my friends.
So you just came to Kibera, you didn't know anyone?
Yes.
What happened on that first day that you arrived in Kibera?
On that first day, okay, I had this friend. She was called Stella. She was from here. So every time I was using my phone's mom, I called Stella. Hello, I'm planning to come to Nairobi. Will you host me? And she'd be like, yes, you just come. She picked me from OTC Center there. I didn't know even anywhere in Nairobi. I stood there almost 2 hours waiting for Stella to come and pick me. And that's why, that's how I started my life in. All
right. Thank you for opening up. I'll get back to you, but there's so many issues that girls living in informal settlements go through. And one of the issues is, for example, what she's saying, girls that are running away from home, others that feel burdened, especially having to bear the consequences of being the firstborn and all that. So let's first talk about the different groups that we have in the informal settlements before we look at how they get and how they are prone to getting pregnant while still underage.
Yeah, so we have the girls who are like her, who are the official caregivers in the families. The mothers leave home very early in the morning, and it's the firstborn, or most likely mostly the girl child, who takes care of the family. And then we have girls who leave because of peer pressure. We have girls who are tired of living in that small room, you know, the control, you know, where you are tired. It's just like you just have to do everything. You sleep when they are ready to sleep. You do just everything, and the pressure is too much because they also listen to their peers. And we also have girls who, you know, they just want to listen to other girls. They want to live the way other girls are living. So at the end of the day, they end up really messing up. Like we have girls who cannot even do their homework because maybe by 9 the lights should be switched off because people are supposed to be sleeping. So it's very tough. We have girls people don't have food completely, so they can go 2-3 days without food, and you have your neighbor there always sending you, asking you maybe at times to cook for them. So people end up taking advantage of them. But we look at especially the girl child, you know, the things they go through. The mothers wake up very early in the morning and they're going to the market. It's now hard to make sure that the kids are prepared for school, you know, the shoes are brushed, they have all their bags, they have everything, they go to school. Or maybe if there's a baby in the house, then the baby is left behind. When mama comes from the market, and you know, she takes care of the baby and leaves with the baby to go and sell. They sell the whole day, and from school the girl must pick the baby back home, and just to ensure that the kids are bathed and then the kids have eaten, because mommy again comes back very late in the night when maybe the kids are asleep. So it's not that easy. But we also have people who just take advantage of them, including teachers in schools. Just take advantage of them. You know, naturally at 14, 15, 16, the girl is very, very pretty. You know, her features are just coming out. And if someone doesn't come out, if they are not mentored to understand that this beauty is for yourself, and you are yet to reach that stage where somebody else is telling you about your beauty, then they end up with that mess, because you know there's a lot of confusion. They're trying to understand their bodies, and here's someone really confusing them, and at times they feel that the person talking to them is the handsome one. If I miss this person, then maybe I'm not going to get the right person. And that is why we need a lot of mentorship when we are talking about girls growing up.
Yeah, and thank you, Jen, for taking us through some of the causes, reasons for teenage pregnancy. And this is not just for girls or women in the informal settlements, but it's happening all over. So, Avin, let me get back to you. Your friend Stella, right? You said your friend was Stella.
Yes, Stella.
So she finally came to pick you from the stage, right?
Yes.
And so how was your new life? So what were you doing when you woke up in the morning? What did you do? What did you intend to come to Nairobi to do? Did you actually achieve that which you had purpose to come and do?
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Catching up with the new life, it wasn't easy. Being in a new background, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like my mom used to provide for me, but here right now I have to provide for myself. So I have to search many ways, or any way that I can get where to sleep, or how I eat, I'll eat, even how I'll wear.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy. Yes.
So you would say that running away from home, it's something that you regret, yeah? Because it wasn't easy. So let's talk about some of the things then that you are doing to take care of yourself, sorry. Yeah.
So engaging with this friend of mine, Stella, for her, she was doing house help job. And by then, so I had myself to engage in myself to the house help's choice, even though I wasn't like that mature.
Yeah.
So
you were 17.
Yes, I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
I wasn't empowered.
You didn't even have an
then.
ID.
I wasn't even empowered by then.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything, what to do. So I had to engage myself with the house help job. So I did the house help job for about 3 months.
Yeah.
From there, I had to get married. I had to get married since the life wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's because you couldn't afford the house rent. I'm assuming you were assisting Stella to paying the house rent, or what really prompted you to make that decision that now I think I can't do it all alone? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I got married, it's because Stella too had to left to Nairobi.
Okay.
From Nairobi, she went back to Shago.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had my life all by my alone. Yes.
Okay, you will take us through your marriage journey at 17. I know it was very tough for you, and I'm assuming that you're no longer there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get back to that. So talking about the causes of teenage pregnancy and the burden of teenage pregnancy in the country right now, we have reports every year, day in, day out, from experts, organizations like yours, that lack of education and poverty is the greatest contributor. So let's talk about what's currently happening, the high cost of living. The other time we were doing a story in the informal settlements, and we saw how families were, going without food for so many days. So how is this high cost of living, lack of food, lack of money to even buy a basic need, affecting or contributing to the numbers of teen pregnancies in the country?
Girls influence each other.
Yeah.
So they go to school, their peers have their pens every day. They come in with beautiful shoes, and their uniforms are also very neat and everything. And then the girls also just want to be girls like other girls, So it's tough in their homes. And what happens in most families is that right now people prioritize food. Food, not even books, food.
Yeah.
Because without food, people cannot move. So we have food, and then we have water. In the slums, we still buy water, and it's very expensive. So the priorities of the parents are very different from the priorities of these young people. So the young people end up prioritizing things that the parents cannot afford.
Yeah.
So they end up looking for money everywhere. In fact, lately you listen to many girls, then you call them baby daddies. Their baby daddies are boda riders.
Yeah.
And the boda riders, because boda riders have ready money. They have money every day.
Yeah.
So it's that small money every day, and they end up buying, they call it chips for girl. So when they get home, they don't have to struggle. You know, at times when there's little food at home, then the young kids are given food. You know, their priorities, they're favored over the bigger ones.
Yeah.
So then they're like, if I'm able to take care of myself, then why not? You know, and that is taking advantage of taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
They end up in the mess. And from what we know is that it's also very hard for them to access, can I call it family planning? It's very hard, but it also does not cross their mind. They are more into, I don't want to contract HIV. So it's such a challenge for this country. And if we don't have these conversations candidly, then we're still going to have girls getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And, you know, like in the slums, it's contributing to that circle of poverty. Now you can imagine running away from the small house, and now you're adding another family, another child into this small house.
Yeah.
It's always very tough. So even the ones who are able to go back to school, or even the ones who are doing other things, it's very tough because now you have to walk around with your baby. Remember that we are talking about a mother who is not able to take care of her children, who is letting her firstborn take care of her children, and then now we have another baby in, and maybe it's the mother is still young and the mother wants to do other things. You know, I've had mothers coming to complain about their children with the babies, still leaving babies and going out, and the mothers are more worried than the parents to these babies, the teen moms.
Exactly.
So it's just some circle of trauma and stress and depression that, you know, handling is very complicated, and I think the government should take it as a matter of priority. Because it contributes to everything. You know, poverty, mental health, and a school dropout, just so many things, because these kids are not even well taken care of at the end of the day. I remember one time we were in a meeting and we allowed a teen mom to come, and she came with her baby, and the diaper was so full, the baby had bruises all over. And at some point I had like just to send this girl back home. And she really tried to resist. She was like, where do you want me to go to? These are my fellow girls. But now they are your fellow girls and you have a baby. And your baby is not even well taken care of. So we followed up with her and we really tried to help her to take care of this baby. So you can imagine the mother is tired, taking care of other things, you know. And mostly the mothers are also still very young. You can get a grandmother who is not even 35. And they're already grandmothers, and you know, so it's a serious complication that should be taken seriously.
But the root cause is poverty.
Poverty is the main thing. We have education. You know, people who are educated, as you grow, as you explore education, then you're able to learn so much. You have people who inspire you. You're able to look at these big, beautiful girls who are yet to have babies, who are still pursuing life stuff. And then you're like, I want to be like them. In fact, the way we do our mentorship is like we have the bigger girls mentoring the younger girls. So the younger girls are able to ask them all the questions. You know, how did you get here? How did you say no to men? How did you walk through poverty and still go to school? And with that, we are talking about reality. You know, at times when adults talk to children, to younger people, then they talk more about the right thing, the Bible, you know, the religious education. But now we have to bring it down to reality, because the things that are happening out here, and they're very different. At times, the way a rural girl approaches relationship, or maybe ends up getting pregnant, is different from this girl from the urban poor, and even the girl from the economically better community. So we should make sure that we understand the context when we are talking to girls about taking care of themselves. It should not just be blanket, you know. And at times I also say that it should not also be so can I say manual, like following some manual. Listen to the girls first. What information do they have? Like, how do we move forward? What do they want? What are they able to do? What are they not able to do? Let us give the right information based on what these kids understand.
All right. And Arvin, thank you once again for being here, because your story is such an inspiring story that is also inspiring other girls out there to look forward to a better future as well. So let's talk about your only hope. Stella has left and now you're here alone, so you're desperate. You chose to get married out of desperation, not because you wanted to. So just tell us what exactly happened to you meeting this guy, and how did it go? Yeah.
Meeting me this guy, I could say he lied to me.
Yeah.
He lied to me. He lied to me like, I'll give you a better life.
Yeah.
I'll put you in my house. I'll give you food. I'll give you resources. I'll give you everything. So I ended up being pregnant.
What was he doing for a living?
He did mjengo.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was working at a mjengo as a storekeeper.
Yeah.
So he had money.
Yeah.
So after that, the reason why I said earlier I wasn't empowered, it's because if only I was empowered, I could have gotten an implant, like family planning. You see. Yeah. But 2 months later, I was pregnant after engaging with him. After being married with him. Yeah. 2 months, I got pregnant.
Yeah. Okay, we want to take a break. When we return, you'll tell us how now you met Polycom, how you empowered, and then talk to other girls out here who are also about to make some decisions about their lives. Yeah. So thank you for staying with us. We want to take a short commercial break. We are talking about the cost of the teenage pregnancy. The reports show that the cases are on a downward trajectory, but that's not the case in informal settlements, because the high cost of living is again luring young girls into engaging into sexual activities for different reasons, including getting even money to buy pads and even for food. So we continue this conversation shortly. Stay with us.
KTN News. Get the whole story. Prepare yourself for an electrifying experience that will rev up your engines and leave you breathless. The second Digger Motor Show is here to take you on a thrilling journey through the world of automotive excellence. Check out the sleek and sophisticated luxury cars and witness the unveiling of the hottest new models from renowned manufacturers, each one pushing the boundaries of style and performance. Mark your calendars for the 20th to the 23rd of July 2023 at the KICC and get behind the wheel of your dream car. Be ready to experience the second edition of the Digger Motor Show. Come and ignite your passion for cars. You don't want to miss a single moment. To book your space or get more details, call Caroline Nyandieka on 0723 803601.
Yanapotokea kila mahali katika kila pembe ya Kenya, tunahakikisha kuwa tuko pale kukupa dondoo mubashara.
Yomba anachomeka gari hayuwezi ingia.
Kiswahili kitaendelea kwa misingi yake.
Hapa tulimpatia 86%.
Najua sasa hapa tunakujia gold, hakuna kitu kingine.
Vikosi vyetu vya wanahabari viko kila mahali.
Kaunti ya Taita Taveta liko katika kituo mojawapo ambacho
kaunti hii ya Nyeri ndio chimbuko lake Rigathi Gachagua.
Katika kituo cha kujumlisha kura katika eneo bunge la Matuga.
Mahakama Kuu mjini Kakamega hatimaye imeweza kutupilia mbali kesi.
Usikose kutazama yanayojiri kila siku ya Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa.
Sakali Dalmas,
Hamza Yusuf, KTN News,
Clement Masombo,
Tobias Chanji.
Kwa kwangu Elvis Kosgei, sina la ziada.
When it comes to your motoring needs and likes, there is only one place where you will find the best automotive dealers and enthusiasts alike. You'll enjoy the best deals on vehicles, spare parts, insurance, and asset financing tailored to fit all your needs, all at the Digger Motor Show. It's the place you will want to be on the 20th of July 2023.
Jack Motors, we are the authorized distributor for light trucks and pickups in Kenya. The manufacturer is JSC Motors, which is based in FA, China, with a wide range of products. In our showroom, we do have N75 4-ton truck, and we also have T8 2000cc diesel turbo double cab. Other than the diesel versions, we have electric. The first double cab and 4-ton truck electric in Eastern Central Africa. Yeah, we have branches in Mombasa, Kisumu, and also here in Nairobi we have a branch along Mombasa Road and another one at Parklands. But our HQ is located at the River Road, just next to Subaru Kenya.
For a great time worth all your passion for bikes and cars and all types of vehicles, you will get the best experience at the annual Digger Motor Show with fellow petrolheads. Whether just to buy or to experience great motor engineering, find your way to KICC from Thursday 20th to Sunday 23rd July 2023 and be a part of the Grand Motor Show where business thrives and fun stays alive. For more information or participation, contact Caroline on 0723803601 or email cnyandieka@standardmedia.co.ke. KTN News. Get the whole story.
Right, welcome back to KTN News Center. Thank you so much for staying with us this morning. We talk about the burden of teenage pregnancy in the country. In studio, we do have Jen Anyango, the Executive Director at Polycom. And we also have the lovely Arvin Chepkoech, who is a mother, and she's taking us through her journey as a teen mom. Thank you once again for staying with us. And Arvin, let me get to you. You got married at the age of 17. You got pregnant at the same age. Now, maybe you can take us through how that experience was for you. I know you're not together with the father of your child, so what exactly happened and what are you doing right now?
Being a young mother at a very tender age, it wasn't easy because I had no experience apart from bringing up my other siblings. So this one was my own child, so it wasn't easy. I met Polycom back in 2019, whereby they had an event for young mothers. That's how I met Polycom, and I told them my story. I shared with them my story. I triggered them with my story. It's because after being married, 2 years later, I ended up being a victim of gender-based violence with the same guy.
So you lived together for 2 years?
Yes. So having these scars, and everyone will be like, what happened with you?
And actually I wanted to ask the same. Maybe you can tell us what happened.
Yes, so 2 years later, living with the guy, he became so violent. And one day we fought so bad, and there was a stove. There was a stove there, yes, and he threw it to me. So that's how I ended up with my scars. Yes. So I told Jane with the team what happened to me. Yes, and that's how they empowered me. That's how they gave me a mentor, and I was mentored. Yes.
All right. Did you maybe at any point reach out to your family back in Nakuru?
Yes, I had to reach out back to my mom. They say east, west, home is always the best.
Yeah.
So I had to reach back out to my mom. I told her what happened, and she welcomed me back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Jen, we are talking about lack of information for so many girls. I know we have conversations about defilement, yeah, but there are girls like Arvin that are in relationships, they are underage, okay? This information, we're talking about sex education, availability of contraceptives, which of course even the country is not ready to have that conversation for girls who are underage. Maybe what's your take on that, looking at the burden of these cases, especially in places like rural areas and informal settlements?
Yeah, I think it's something that if it's not addressed, then we're still really behind.
Yeah.
So look at Avin, very young, she's in town, she has no shelter. And what is interesting again is, like, most men really like girls from the village, because the girls from the village they think are very unempowered. In fact, most girls who come in young from the village, most of them are married off very fast. Yeah, because that is, they think they are good girls. And what in the village, or maybe even in most families, people don't talk about sex. People don't talk about contraceptives. People don't talk about it completely. What you're told is that you should be well behaved, or tutaki tabia mbaya. So at the end of the day, they have no information completely. So you have this girl getting pregnant very early, stranded while pregnant, and then, you know, maybe even she had her baby in the hospital, but now the hospital, what steps did they take? This is a young girl. She's so much uninformed, even the parent is not there. So I think we have so much to do. We should give information to the people. The way we talk about defilement, I think most young people don't want to associate themselves with defilement, because they think whatever we are having is a relationship. We know they are too young to choose,
but they are in relationships,
to consent, but they are in relationships. So I think we should accept that these kids are in relationships. We have others who are not, so it's not 100%. In everything there's it's not 100%. So this small percentage, or the medium percentage that is engaging in relationships, what do we do about it? Do we just assume? Do we not give them information? I feel we should give them information so that they decide what to do with the information, because we cannot just shepherd them forever. You cannot say that now this is my baby, I'm walking around with her, I know her, she's not getting anywhere away from me, and in the school the teachers are there taking care of her. It is not a one person's thing. The kids, the young people can take care of themselves better if they have information. And when we are giving information, let's accept that they become sexually active early. And we must tell them that being sexually active is not a crime, it's not evil, it's very normal, but how you handle yourself is the issue. So when they get the right information, when they own the information, then they are able to make informed choices. They are able to understand that nothing is running, that whoever they are engaging with is not even their husbands. You know, it can never be their husbands. They're still young, and so when they get the information right, then they do the right thing. And I think this is where we should invest. We should not wait until it happens and then we run left, right, and center, talking about pedophiles abusing our kids, talking about, response. If it has happened, it has happened. How do we prevent it from happening to the next generation?
And Arvin, what is this one thing that if you knew, probably you could have made informed decisions in terms of leaving home, in terms of getting married? What did you wish, or do you wish you knew back then?
Okay, up to today, I regretted that life. I do regret that life. I regret coming to Nairobi. Yes, I do regret it. Even though I don't regret having my son, because I even called him Baraka. Blessings. So after that, I suffered. Imagine being a young mother, 2 years later, ended up being a victim of gender-based violence. 9 months later, being in an hospital at Kenyatta Hospital for 9 months.
Yeah.
For almost 5 years, I was trying to catch up again, starting a new life again.
Yeah.
After getting married, getting pregnant, being a victim. So it wasn't easy until today.
Yeah.
And that's why I really love sharing my story so that I can inspire someone out there with my story.
Yeah.
I can encourage someone out there with my story, telling her not to do this, do not get pregnant at an early age.
And let's talk about encouraging someone who's probably found themselves where you found yourself, being a teen mom. So did you manage to go back to school probably? How have you been able to, how did you start your new life, and where are you right now?
I didn't manage to go back to school up to today, but I really look up for it. Really look up for it for one day. I'll manage to go back to high school.
Yeah.
Where am I today? I really humble myself towards a good life because of my son. So I joined with Polycom. I'm a mentor there. I do mentor young girls and young mothers too. Yeah.
Yeah. And your son, has he gone to school?
Yes.
Where are you living right now?
We live in Kibera.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in grade 2.
Okay. And Jane, there are so many programs that's against teenage, or in the fight against teenage pregnancy in the country, but the cases keep on rising, all right? Where is the missing link? What is missing? Is it a conversation regarding a certain issue that we are avoiding? Because these problems are not just in Kenya, but mostly they are in developing countries. So apart from, we've seen also other programs by the government, for example, ensuring that all learners transition to secondary school, free primary education and all that, but still the cases are on the rise, okay? Is it lack of awareness? What exactly needs to be, is the missing link to bridging this gap and ensuring that girls are protected from early pregnancies?
Yeah, the question we should ask ourselves is that how free is free?
Yeah.
We still buy books, we buy uniforms. Most kids don't get food in school. If you're talking about kids from the informal settlement, so maybe you went to bed the day before without food, and you're going to school without food, and then there's no lunch. Remember when we talked about providing, when we had pre-free lunch, we had very many kids coming to school. So their kids would come to school just to eat, you know. So if we are not able to provide all this, we are talking about 100% transition to high school, but we're still paying school fees. Right now we have the junior secondary that people just, you know, nothing was clear until kids were in school, and then they needed new uniform, they needed lockers, they had to pay some fees. So if we are not able to pre-plan with parents, then it's very complicated. For the teenage mothers, when they are pregnant, they don't want this pregnancy. They really, really don't want this pregnancy. They feel like, you know, they can do anything. But once they have their babies, we have Kena Baraka, the babies are so precious to them because they reflect on what they have gone through.
Yeah.
And that is when you have people coming in talking about, hey, we have to look for baby daddy and we have to sue him. You have to look for him. And then the woman is like, this is my kid. And the mother, it's like, this is my kid and I want to show my kid love.
Yeah.
If I start engaging the father this way, then it means that I'm not showing my kid love, so I don't want to complicate my kid's life. So we're always fighting this losing battle.
Yeah.
Why can't we empower people like Avin to pick it up and present what did she go through? She rebelled. And she rebelled because she felt unwanted. She just mentioned that she wasn't a priority. And I think at times you talk to mothers, the mothers will tell you, I didn't even know. You know, so who is there to tell them that whatever the mother is doing, she feels is for the best interest of the child, you know. So she felt she was so much unwanted. She felt she worked too hard. Who did she tell? You know, and that is why the talking boxes that we have in schools are very important. Right now we have a lot of conversations going around unpaid care work, we are not thinking about young women and girls. We're only thinking about women. Where are they? Are we listening to them? So let's bring candid conversations with the right people. Let the right people take the conversation going forward. Let others supervise. Where we are right now, we have international organizations right now coming to work locally. You get someone so professional, someone who has never gone into the informal settlements. They've never had any experience. They had their babies when they wanted babies.
Yeah,
you know, leading the conversations. And then
we need to have Avin.
Yes, we need to have Avin. We need to have Avin now. With even talking to parents. I left my mama because I felt she didn't love me. But when she was down, who was there for her? Her mama. You know. So how do let's strike that balance. Let's get people who have experience leading the conversation, not just as watu wa mkono, you know, not just like nimemwalika. She understands it best.
Yeah.
You talk about GBV, you talk about teenage pregnancy, you talk about rebelling, you talk about school dropout.
Yeah.
She has it all. But where is that information? How do we empower her to lead the conversation? Imagine telling that young girl who is so much in love that, you know what, I was in love once, and look at me. The person who loved me, the person who took me in, the person I felt
did this to me,
and I'm living with this guy for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
This kid will think twice, you know. So I feel that we should really bring people like Avin to lead conversations.
Yeah. And Avin, let me ask you the same question, because you've lived that experience. What do you think needs to be done, for example? And you know, when you talk about teenage pregnancy, these pregnancies are not as a result of defilement only. Like, for example, your case, you fell in love because you wanted a better life. Someone lied to you. So what conversations do you think girls should be not even having, but even parents, governments should be having to ensure that girls are aware of where they are and the decisions that they need to make? Yeah.
I think the conversation, what should be done?
Yes.
One, first of all, from this organization, we should go deep down to schools.
Yeah.
Yes, and empower these girls from schools. Let's talk about sex education in these schools. We'll start from schools. Then we advise mothers to have this conversation with their daughters.
Yeah. So if, for example, you had a daughter today, you have a son, but I'm praying that you will also have a better family in the future, at the right time. So if you had a daughter, what kind of conversations would you be having with her?
First of all, I'll start talking to her from 8 years. Yes.
Why 8 years?
Because we have girls who get pregnant at their 9 years, even 10 years. Yes. So the early the better. Yes. The early the better. So I'll start talking to my daughter from 8 years. Yes.
So what are some of the things that you would be talking to her at 8 years? Those are things that you wish you knew right at that time, but since you didn't know and you know now, what conversations would you be having with your daughter at 8 years?
Sex education.
Yeah.
Sex education. If only my mom, if only I would have seated with my mom and talked to her about this sex education, I would have been empowered.
Yeah.
If only I would have seated with my mom and tell me, she would advise me like, if you do this, if you do this, this won't be happening. Yes. So those conversations really matters in this girl's life. Sex education, you being teen, starting their menses on how they should handle themselves. Yeah.
And you know, Gen schools will be closing in less than a month time in August, and we will be seeing a lot of girls voluntarily, they want to have boyfriends, and they even have boyfriends, so there'll be it's a reunion with the boyfriends. So what do we need to do now as a country? Do we even have a policy where that guides teenage pregnancy? Because everyone has a right, for example, to health. Everyone has a right to education and to the basic needs. That's food, shelter, and clothing, which is the greatest contributor to the highest number of teenage pregnancies that we have. So what really needs to be done at a national level to ensure that girls are safe while at home or even in school? Yeah.
Oh, that is a very tough question. Yeah. I was talking to Senator Catherine Moma the other day, and she was telling me, you know what, I want to come up with a bill in Parliament talking about adolescent girls' health. And when we are talking about health, then we are looking at the sexual reproductive health. And so I was like, okay, you will come up with the bill, and then you guys will discuss, and then we have that precious law.
Yeah.
You know, we have them, and we are very good in papers. We are very good on papers in this country, but implementation is a big challenge.
Yeah.
So personally, I feel that if we have the right information from the word go, if we are speaking the same language, if we are speaking the girls' language as opposed to the adults' language, then we'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
Because we must be somewhere. This is something that we cannot take for granted. We must just have all these conversations with the girls. The schools, they are going to come home, and they're missing whoever they are, with their boyfriends. And in some villages, we still have the disco matangas. I was in some funeral last week, by the way, on Wednesday, and I saw young kids who were supposed to be going to school on Thursday, dancing the whole night, you know, dancing the whole night. So, you know, girls are coming home, and these spaces are there, the night spaces, and still all these spaces. So I wish everyone would just take their own initiative to have those candid conversations with our kids.
All right,
it's our responsibility, each and every person's responsibility.
Right, we have now to wrap it up. Avin, do you have any final remarks? Maybe what is one thing as a girl that you so desire? Yeah. To have or to be?
I want to encourage someone out there, a girl, a young mother, whatever happened to you, whatever is the past of you, do not let it matter. Just go on with your life, have a very successful life. Yes.
All right, Avin, and I wish you all the best, really.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for being here. We do appreciate that. Brings us to the end of the News Center this Monday morning. Thank you so much for your company. My name is Purity Museo Nzuki. Keep watching KTN News, and God bless.